Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in the previous videos, we have learned some configurations about AWS SQS and Lambda. So in this video, we will learn how to call or how to invoke a Lambda function using one more Lambda function. So we are going to call or invoke a Lambda function with the Python code from one more Lambda function. So I just kept a code snippet to call a lambda function. So first we just need to create one client object of this lambda. Then we just need to invoke and pass what is the function name, what is the invocation type. So invocation type means, suppose if you want to call an API with the async call, we won't wait for the response. So that async is equal to event, and if you want the response, you need to wait till you get the response, then you need to pass request response. So and we no need to call actual function, we just need to check whether all permissions or everything is proper, then we can use dry run. So there are three types of invocation types: one is event, one is request response, and one is dry run. So payload is the actual message we want to pass to lambda function. So after that call, we are just printing what is the response and we are just returning. So we'll just execute this function and check whether this lambda, there is a lambda I have created, dummy. So I have created one dummy lambda, and inside this I am just printing the event and returning, nothing else. So once we call, we will just check whether it is calling or not. So for executing this, we'll just run a test case. We'll just keep some dummy thing. We don't not going to use the event, and we'll just test. So here we got an error occurred, access denied exception while invoking operation. So the role provided to the caller is doesn't have a invocation permission of a lambda. So we will just provide, we'll just go to configuration and we'll check what is the role first, permissions. So we have given this role, let's go to this role and provide lambda invocation permissions. So whatever the lambda is doing, all those permissions should be there, then only that operations will work. So this is the role, we'll just add permission. So presently it has SQS permission and AWS Lambda SQS queue execution role. So we'll just attach policy, we'll just say Lambda invocation. So AWS Lambda invocation permission, or we'll just give Lambda full permission. So there is AWS Lambda full permission. So we'll just provide full permission. So now we have provided a permission. Let's try the test. So let's test now. So just now we have given, let's wait for 1 minute. Invoke permission. Okay, now this is a different error. This is a invalid request context exception. So when calling the invoke operation, could not parse request body into JSON, could not parse payload into JSON, unrecognized token test. So somehow it is trying to convert this payload into JSON. So let's pass a JSON directly. So we are just passing key and value as test demo. Let's deploy this and test. So here parameter validation failed, invalid type for parameter payload. So type is dictionary and valid types are bytes and byte array. So what? So it is telling dictionary is not valid. We'll just say JSON dot loads. So here we have provided JSON. Let's try this. So JSON object must be string, bytes, or byte array, not dictionary. So it is telling, okay, let's do one thing, let's remove everything, keep this way. Try this. So invalid request type, unexpected character. Let's give this syntax error. Yes, now it is successful. So we need to be very careful to pass the payload. So this is how we need to pass the payload, and now we have called the payload, and let's check the caller now whether it is called or not. So this is the lambda we have called, and we'll just check the logs of this lambda whether the invocation happens or not. So here we have seen logs. Let's open it, and we have successfully printed key test demo, and the lambda is called. So here we kept event, so it won't wait for the response. So that also we will just check. We'll just monitor the caller lambda also. We'll check the logs of it. So the caller, if we just check the response printed, so event is printed at 23:36 and response is printed at 23:37, and status code 202. So now immediately it has processed. Now we will just pass, instead of event we will just pass request response. So it should wait for the response instead of giving output immediately. If we give request response, how much ever time this lambda takes, it will wait. The caller will wait. Let's test this. So now it got returned, and if we check the logs, so the dummy lambda we have not kept any logic, so that's why it's returning immediately. So now if we check, see it is 40 and 42, little bit more. If you keep a delay in the dummy lambda only before returning, let's sleep for 5 seconds. We just import time and keep time dot sleep. So now we can check clearly. Now again test. It should wait for 5 seconds. See, now it is giving timeout because this lambda we have kept only 3 seconds timeout, because it should wait for at least 5 seconds. So we'll just keep for now 30 seconds. And if we test again, it will wait for 5 seconds and give a response, and till that time it will wait for the response. Now if we keep event again, if it is event, it won't wait for 5 seconds. See, it has given response immediately. It has just took duration is 1 second 400 milliseconds. If it is request response, you should wait for the lambda. So this is how we call the lambda function from one more lambda function. And here we can provide alias also qualifier. Suppose this dummy lambda, we need to call the alias of this dummy lambda, not the latest version. We can just provide a qualifier equal to whatever the alias name. So for this video is this much, and then next video we will learn what is the problem, or what can be the problem will be there if we call a lambda function from a other lambda function. So that is an important point you need to watch in the future video. Thank you for watching.